welcome. Yeah, a Mother's Love Initiative committing to fatherhood. Our guest is a theater administrator, actor, producer, filmmaker, Makinde Adeniran. How do you cope with all that business, work, and fatherhood?
Well, for me, being a father is a choice. It's a choice that you have to get yourself committed to right at the first time. Whether you accidentally find yourself being a father or you plan, is a choice that you have to secretly and conscientiously make. And the moment you make that choice, you know, it's like project. When we make our mind up for a project, we use all the zeal, everything in us. No matter the amount of business, we use everything to ensure that the project comes out top. And I think it's the same. That's the way I view it. I get committed because it's a choice to take on a family life, and to be responsible. Because the moment you make that choice, then the sense of responsibility comes in.
From when you became a father till now, how has it been so far?
It has been challenging. And you are happy, especially when you look back, when you started. Let me give you a little scenario. You know, I've been all alone by myself before marriage. I do my things in my house. If I put my pen or my bottle that way, I go out, I come back, and I'm such a person that is that finicky. Yeah. I come back, my eyes goes there. If anything shifts, I will know. And I took that stupidity, quote and unquote, I took it into and then I began to, my first child, he was that small. And I was doing something and he was crawling all over the place. Baby, for Christ's sake. He went and touched something that's in my head. You should not touch. I left everything. I have forgotten. I forgot that this is just a crawling baby. I spanked the hair. The mother ran out from the inner room. I think she was in the kitchen. She ran out. She didn't even say anything or argue with me on anything. The first thing she did was that she gave me a dirty slap. And that slap was like resetting my brain. And I stood there. I was looking, even though, you know, the woman too felt, because she did it out of her senses. It's spontaneous. Because she felt it immediately. And I stood there, the two of us stood there. Nobody talked. I went back to my seat. I went back to what I was doing. The baby was crying. The mother too weeping. And then she strolled back in. Years after, I looked at that scenario and I began to feel there is a way, permit me to use this expression, there is a way God trains everybody at every level.
What has fatherhood taught you?
One of those things that I will tell you straight off, fatherhood has taught me, or has bring to the fore the leadership power that is in you. Every time it will teach you, if you submit yourself to it, because you are leading. That's what it is. Whether a father is a weakling or whatever, forget it. There is that element of leader in every man. And I equally mentioned that is another level. When you become a father, when you make that choice and you climb onto that level, is a choice that you have made. Now, at that point, you need to submit yourself to the learning of that level that you are. Because see, in your calculation of everyday life, these people are my responsibility. They are constant. It's a constant. The job you get that pays you is not a constant. The family, the children and all of that, they are a constant. So that constant, right, balances out every other thing. And the day you don't have, right, and you still have to go back to the constant, how they take you in, how that constant takes you in, and then it makes tomorrow even brighter for you without a kobo. and then you go out, and then you look forward to going back to them. You see, that thing is what shapes you.
Apologizing to your child, to your word, that's a great deal. A lot of us don't like to do it. When you do it, do you feel small?
I don't feel anyhow. In fact, I feel that's part of the lesson, because when I submit, then the child knows that falling is not failing. Falling is learning to stand up. Those are the very critical things that we don't pass on. We pass on the legacy of wealth, the legacy of opulence, the legacy of my father is big, it has to shine. But we don't pass on the legacy of how to fall and stand up. That constantly falling is the way to rising.
If you want to pick 3 persons or 2 persons as a mentor for fatherhood, who will you pick?
I'll pick number 1, Wole Soyinka. What got me tied to him in that regard, right, has nothing to do with his literature. It has to do with his being a father, actually. And I'll give you a scenario. We were in London, and we were strolling on the street. I think it was in, you know, all those tail end of winter, when summer is beginning to show up, and we just felt, oh, it is summer, it's bright and all of that. And then I went out without sweatshirt or anything, any cover. You know, we were strolling on the street, myself, Professor Wole Soyinka, Judy Kelly, who was the former director of West Yorkshire Playhouse. You know, and we were going. And all of a sudden, under just 1 second, the weather just switched to extreme this thing. And it was obvious. I was holding it. All the while, Wole Soyinka was looking at me. And at a point, he just stopped on the road. And he just looked at me, very bitter. He said, in your life, you don't come out in Britain, whether summer or whatever, without a cover clothes. In your life. The way he was speaking to me.
That not anything happening to you.
Yes. The people around were looking. He was even about to take off his own this thing. So people around could not quickly. Judy Kelly she took it from her husband and covered me. And Prof, it was until I was covered before Wole Soyinka. You will see it on his face. And the way he can, I've seen this several times. It's not just the one time. I only played that one time. So Wole Soyinka, for me, the other person will be my father. My father, the reason is simple. My father got out of his marriage. He separated because he told my mother that 3 is enough for him. He would not want to bring any child to life that I won't be able to commit to. That 3 is enough. And my mother's family, they were like, and the man said, okay. He traveled up north. He left everything. Honestly, until the day he died, he never married. He stayed with the 3 kids, looked after them the way he can, submit to them, tell them, and he never for one day tell us negative story about the relationship between himself and my mother.
Mother's Love Initiative, committing to fatherhood. My name, of course, remains Justice, the Guru Atigogo.